You know what a Mason told me once? He said that what it's all about is that math or geometry is the first language of the universe. It's like the first language of God. And so like they're super into sacred geometry. Like that's a big thing. And like the whole thing's based on building the Temple of Solomon, which was where you house the Ark of the Covenant. You know, it's all symbolic, of course, but the new Temple of Solomon that they're trying to build, according to the conspiracy theorists, is society. Like, this is it. Like, society is the new Temple of Solomon, and part of that was getting the United States Revolution to happen, because they helped fund that. And also, fucking D.C., the street layout of D.C. is all Masonic symbols, and that goddamn obelisk popping up out of the middle of fucking D.C., that weird thing, and it's all over our fucking money. So yeah, Joe, we are worried about you. Are you dabbling?
There is something going on behind the scenes, right? I mean, it's clear. If you look at the design of Washington, D.C., and folks, you should look this up online, because it's not something that it's irrefutable.
Yes.
The grid, the way they've lined up the streets, the way they put the buildings and everything. I mean, it literally is Masonic symbols.
It is, and it's all over our fucking money too.
Yeah. Yeah, what's up with that fucking all-seeing eye on top of the pyramid?
Just an eye on top of a pyramid, that makes sense. The United States and its long love affair with Egypt. Think how the Egyptians helped form our Constitution.
Yeah, right?
No one thinks about that shit. That's what's so fun about the occult, you know, because the word occult itself means hidden, but it's like hidden in plain view. Because this shit's in front of everybody. Like all the people who deny conspiracy theories and stuff in their wallet are fucking rectangles covered in Egyptian occult symbology that they don't even think about.
Yeah, and for folks who don't know, what the symbols are in Washington, D.C., the way it's set up, is one of them is a Lucifer upside down pentagram.
Sure.
I mean, so the horns stick up in the air. I mean, that's there. I mean, they did design this. They really did design the streets like this. And the other one is like that Masonic symbol that looks like a measuring device.
Yeah, that means a lot. But yeah, that's why they like that, because what they're trying to do is to sort of articulate the primary the very first way that the universe formed, which is through geometry or through like a cascade of like specific physical laws that are based on math. Mm-hmm. It's super fucking cool, man. I mean,
that's what Masons are?
Well, that's what a Mason told me at a wedding. I don't know. He's drunk too. I don't know.
Yeah, I met a drunk Mason at a show at the Laugh Factory in Houston. He was showing me his Mason IDs and shit, and I'm like, "What the fuck is being a Mason? What do you guys do?" He's like, "Oh man, it's just secret society, you know, hung out together."
Yeah, hang out together. We had do rituals where you come out of a fucking coffin. I know that happens.
Okay, but how much power do you really think they have, wield, try to use? Is there really anything to what they're doing, or is like being a Mason just fun? It's like being an Elks Lodge member.
I've heard there's many different levels of the thing, and I imagine that a lot of Masons are probably in politics. And when you're in a fraternity and you're in politics, you're probably going to pay deference to other people in your fraternity when it comes to working together to make laws happen or whatever you're up to. So a lot of people say it's a waning population. The Masons are kind of like dying out because fewer young people are signing up because they don't recruit. So to become a Mason, you have to ask a Mason. So you have to go to the Masonic Lodge and be like, I want to become a Freemason. And then they do like background checks on you and
Should
stuff.
we become Masons?
Yes, let's do it. I think it'd be a blast.
What do you think is good about being a Mason?
I think ceremony is...
People are going nuts right now in front of their computer. These fucking shills! These fucking New World Order shills! Where's the Alex Jones hotline number? I need to call him.
Joe Rogan has publicly admitted on his show that he is a Mason. He has Duncan Trussell on, who talks about how wonderful it is to be a Mason and spreading propaganda, disinformation about Masons being about geometry. They're about control. They're about taking your soul, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm not going to stand for it.
Well, man, I don't know. You know, who knows? I think ceremony is something that is missing from a lot of people's lives in our culture because it's so goddamn weird. And
Sounds like someone wants to get married.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, someone wants to get married.
Well, that is definitely a ceremony, but like, you know, there's a lot of other ceremonies too that aren't quite so based on on stupid shit. But I mean, but they are like they're psychedelic, man. And like I read this somewhere, I don't remember who said it, but it was an interesting point, which is that a rock show is a ceremony in the sense that you're going to this to watch people on stage like doing like songs which are a kind of chant that everyone already knows, and you're taking psychedelics to go enjoy this thing. So it's like that, you know, that Jungian idea that like there's just certain basic things that tend to repeat through all different cultures, and the way it's repeated in our culture is more through I'm gonna go see a rock show and dress in a certain way and take a psychedelic and trip out and have a kind of transcendent experience that comes through the music. But it used to be like there's more formal versions of that idea, which is like you take a psychedelic and then you do a series of like intonations or whatever the fuck it is, depending on what religion or cult you're in, and that creates a kind of transcendent connective experience, which I think is fucking awesome. And it's fun to just watch, regardless of whether or not you believe in what that religion or ritual is trying to invoke. It's just cool to watch that form of dance and movement happen.
It's a funny way of putting it because most people would never think of ceremony that way. And I think what a lot of these people that are freaking out about Masons and all this, I think people are nervous about any group that moves in secrecy. You know, like that was one of the Kennedy speeches. Remember that? Secret societies, you should not be tolerated. Remember that?
Yeah.
I don't remember what the actual speech was, but I wonder what that was in reference to.
Dear God, I wonder, can you save me? Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body. Dear God, I wonder, can you save me? Secret society, trying to keep the eye on me. Dear God, I wonder, can you save me? Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body. Dear God, I wonder, can you save me? I can't die. Yeah, this shit is wicked on these mean streets.